Besides being two of the biggest names in WWE history, John Cena and Vince McMahon are two extremely powerful businessmen who have earned a lot of money throughout their careers. Thanks to this, today they live in beautiful mansions, enjoy high-end cars, and even private jets. But have you ever wondered which of them has the most luxurious life? In today's video, you'll watch a fierce battle between John Cena and Vince McMahon. Both professional wrestling stars live comfortably in beautiful properties, but who owns the most luxurious mansion? John Cena, for example, at the time he was engaged to wrestler Nikki Bella. She ended up showing a bit of the couple's residence on her YouTube channel, where it was possible to get to know a bit more of the WWE star's home. It was possible to see that the mansion has a decor full of objects that show a little of Cena's personality, such as a picture frame with dozens of Nintendo games, and another frame with the album of his favorite artists, and even a piano that he seems to know how to play quite well. One of the rooms that they showed most was the double bedroom, the most exclusive room in the house, which seems to be very comfortable and cozy. The place has a very refined decoration, having, for example, a huge fireplace, many decorative pictures, and even mirrors on the ceiling combined with plaster frames. Going into the bathroom, we can see that it is even more sophisticated, with a white color palette composed by coatings on the walls that look like marble. There's no shortage of space in this bathroom, ideal for the muscle giant ready himself in comfort and luxury. However, the external area is undoubtedly one of the places that stands out the most in the estate. This is because there is an incredible swimming pool, equipped with a stone waterfall and surrounded by plants. John Cena has managed to create an exotic and very functional outdoor area, even featuring a slide for when he wants to have fun. On sunnier days, the fighter will most likely prefer to gather his friends and have some fun while cooling off in this beautiful pool. And even though John Cena and Nikki Bella split in 2018, some sources claim that he is still living in this property. And although the property is not for sale, some real estate websites estimate that Cena's mansion is currently valued at around $3,500,000. The most expensive property Vince McMahon owns is his mansion on a 10-acre plot in the town of Greenwich, in the state of Connecticut. Little is known about its interior, but it is believed that the mansion, named Conyers Farm, is the tycoon's main address, especially as it is only a 30-minute drive from WWE headquarters in Stamford. According to some portals, the mansion was bought for $25 million, and in 2006 it already had an estimated price of $40 million, which must have skyrocketed over the years. So, it's clear that Vince McMahon wins this round. WWE celebrities like John Cena and Vince McMahon don't skimp on beautiful cars for their garages, but who has the most expensive vehicles at their disposal? Among the cheaper cars Vince owns, more than one model, is a Lincoln Town Car Limousine, an elegant vehicle often used by celebrities who don't give up a lot of luxury and sophistication. This car is priced at $30,000, but as the tycoon has several models in his garage, he has probably spent much more than that on them. Vince has also been spotted with a 1967 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, one of the most sought-after muscle cars for car enthusiasts, which stands out for its classic aggressive style and high level of performance on the road. And it's no wonder that the promoter's vehicle is valued at $50,000, but the car was destroyed when Stone Cold poured cement over it. Some sources also estimate that he has a Mercedes-Benz SL 600 in his garage, a classic car with a timeless design, powered by a V12 engine capable of producing 390 horsepower. And to give you an idea of the price, Vince McMahon's car has an estimated value of $130,000. It is speculated that the wrestling mogul also owns an Audi R8, one of the automaker's highest performance vehicles, equipped with a V10 engine that produces 560 horsepower. This machine can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds, which is probably why it's priced at $150,000. Vince also owns a Bentley Continental GT, a super sophisticated car from the renowned Bentley luxury car brand. The interior of the vehicle is stunning, with top-of-the-range finishes and, of course, it is equipped with a super powerful engine capable of easily exceeding 186 miles per hour. And for those who want to own a car like this, you need to shell out around $200,000. Going even higher, some rumors suggest that Vince owns a Lamborghini Aventador, a sports supercar capable of reaching impressive speeds and among the fastest cars in the world. The vehicle has a 770 horsepower engine that accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in an incredible 2.8 seconds, reaching a top speed of 217 miles per hour. And to acquire this super machine, you may have to shell out more than $400,000. The most luxurious car he is believed to own is a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a super elegant large sedan for those who like imposing automobiles. The interior of the vehicle has an impeccable finish, with first-rate materials that bring a lot of sophistication to the environment. And to own one of these cars, you may have to shell out more than $450,000. John Cena, for his part, is not at all left behind. Proof of this is that he has already made a series of videos showcasing part of his collection. The first car he bought with his first WWE paycheck was a 1989 Jeep Wrangler, a vehicle that, despite being valued at only $15,000, holds great emotional significance for Cena. He also owns a 2012 Range Rover Autobiography, a simple SUV for a celebrity like him, but ideal for everyday use and can be found costing around $40,000. However, one of the cheapest sports cars he owns is a 2013 Maserati Gran Turismo, a beautiful convertible that can be found costing around $70,000. Raising the price, he has already been spotted in his 2005 Aston Martin Vanquish S, which can be found costing around $20,000. And of course, Ferraris couldn't be missing from his garage, his cheapest being the 2004 model year 360 Spider, which can be found for around $120,000. Cena also owns a 2009 Lamborghini Gallardo in blooming green color, a sporty and nimble car, but definitely a little too small for a man as strong as he is, being valued at around $130,000. Another beautiful red Ferrari that is part of his collection is the 2007 model F430 Spider, whose price is estimated at around $140,000. He also owns a 2007 Ferrari 599 GTB, a beautiful car valued at $160,000. However, in white he owns a Ferrari 612 Scaglietti Odo 2009, a vehicle valued at $180,000. And for when John Cena wants to take a more sophisticated ride, he can make use of his 2009 Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead Coupe, a sophisticated convertible car valued at around $200,000. Mercedes vehicles couldn't be left out either, with him owning a 2012 Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG valued at $240,000. Going even more powerful, he owns a 2009 Lamborghini Murcielago Coupe, a super-fast car that can be found costing around $350,000. One of the most legendary vehicles in his garage, meanwhile, is his 2006 Ford GT, a rare car that can be worth upwards of $400,000. However, one of the most expensive cars in his collection is believed to be a 2008 Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren, a supercar valued at over $500,000. And because he has a more luxurious garage, John Cena wins this round. Point for him. Both WWE personalities invest a lot of money to always travel in maximum comfort, but who owns the best private jet? John Cena, for example, has already been spotted getting out of a Dassault Falcon 20F, a small executive jet, ideal for interstate travel. The interior of the aircraft is very sophisticated, with it being able to carry up to 6 passengers while offering a lot of comfort for all those who go aboard. And it's no wonder that the price of a new aircraft of this model is estimated at $4 million. But in case the fighter had just chartered it, it's possible he spent around $10,000 for each flight hour. Vince, on the other hand, has the WWE's private jet at his disposal, a beautiful Bombardier Global 5000 aircraft. This is a large aircraft of approximately 96 feet in length, which comfortably accommodates up to 16 passengers in a luxury cabin, which has ergonomic seating, a meeting or dining area, an elegant galley, and a place to rest during the trip. The jet also stands out for its intercontinental range, with a top speed of around 590 miles per hour. The WWE aircraft is used not only by Vince, but also by other big names who work for the company, such as Triple H and his daughter Stephanie McMahon, when they travel for business. And to give you an idea of how much the aircraft costs, some sources estimate that the jet was bought for $27 million. Since Vince always has a more expensive private jet at his disposal, point for him. If there's one thing they don't skimp on, it's good places to live. But who has the most impressive real estate portfolio? John Cena, for example, had a mansion in San Diego, California. On the YouTube channel of John Cena's ex-fiancée, some footage of the property's interior can be seen. We can see that the decor of the house is older, but that everything is still in perfect condition. There is a strong presence of wood, especially in the huge living room, which features several sophisticated details. It was possible to see that the environment has a fireplace, foosball table, and even a pool table. Going down to the basement, there is a wine cellar with a capacity for hundreds of bottles, something that surely the couple must have really liked. And while there isn't a lot of information about this estate, it likely cost quite a bit of money. It is believed that Vince, on the other hand, lived in a charming 3-level residence in Montgomery Village, Maryland. Built in the 1960s, the property has just over 1,700 square feet of area. And although it's not known how much Vince and his wife Linda paid to live there in the late 1960s, the last recorded sale of this property was $401,000 in 2023. Another very famous property that belonged to the tycoon is a luxurious penthouse in the Park Tower, Stamford, formerly known as Trump Park, located in Stamford, Connecticut. With over 3,300 square feet of space, the modern unit has wooden floors and rooms bathed in natural light. Taking a look at the living room, there are many glass walls that make it even more elegant. The kitchen has state-of-the-art appliances and countertops for casual dining, while from the dining room you can watch the unique sunset that only the unit offers. The penthouse also has 4 bathrooms and 3 bedrooms, the master of which has a bathroom with a glass bathtub. The apartment also has a family room with a TV, as well as terraces offering privileged views of the region's main postcards. The condominium also has an indoor swimming pool and a large, well-equipped fitness center. With all this, we can say that living in a high-end building like this is not for everyone. As reported in the media, Vince listed the penthouse for $4.1 million in 2022, but sold it for only $2 million, less than half the original price. But the properties don't end there. He owns a custom-built vacation apartment in the Excelsior condominium, located in one of the best spots in Boca Raton, Florida. Built in 2001, this imposing building has a sophisticated traditional style, inspired by European palaces. A distinctive feature of this exquisite building is that it has only 28 detached units on its 10 floors, perfect for tycoons like Vince and his family to live in greater privacy. Each unit has up to 5,000 square feet of space, and according to some sources, the WWE CEO bought not 1, but 2, and then converted them into one large duplex property, which should have twice as much space as the others. Among the amenities available to residents are an impressive 2-story lobby, a social room overlooking the beach, an oceanfront gym, a heated lagoon-style pool with jacuzzi, and up to 300 feet of private beach. And although there are no recent records of the businessman's property, as reported by some portals, Vince and Linda bought the apartment in 2002 for $2 million, so it's certainly worth a lot more than that now. Considering Vince McMahon's extensive real estate portfolio, point for him. In this round, we'll find out which of them has the most lucrative income streams, John Cena or Vince McMahon. John Cena's most recent investments is in the drinks industry, being one of the founders of Thomas Ashbourne, a brand of ready-to-drink cocktails that promises to be very successful in the coming years. Another source of Cena's income is through music, having already released a rap album titled You Can't See Me. John Cena is also very prominent in the dubbing business, with his biggest highlight being with the main character in the animated film Ferdinand. On television, Cena is often invited to make special appearances, even working as host of the children's show airing on Nickelodeon's Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Social media can also be considered another source of income for John Cena. This is because he has tens of millions of followers on several different platforms. In his Facebook page alone, for example, he has over 50 million followers, a huge audience that he makes use of in order to publicize his main events and products. And because he is a very famous personality, he also manages to make a lot of money from his image by advertising for various companies. Among the brands that have already invested to associate their image to the wrestler are, for example, beer company Michelob Ultra, Gillette razors, new Mountain Dew soft drink, snack company Tacos Fuego, sportswear company Tap Out, Crocs shoes, Hefty disposable products, fast food chain Subway, Fruity Pebbles cereal, and many others. To get an idea of values, it is estimated that just his commercial with the data analysis company Experian, he may have made him around $1 million. Vince isn't far behind in this dispute. One of the promoter's first sources of income was as a wrestling commentator, a position he held for many years and which certainly brought him some financial return. Back in the 1990s, when the WWF was on the rise, the businessman created ICOPRO, a protein supplement that was promoted at wrestling events, but which was eventually discontinued. Through WWE Studios, Vince also invested in a career as a film producer, being involved in some films starring big names from WWE, such as The Scorpion King with The Rock, See No Evil with Kane, The Marine with John Cena, The Call with Halle Berry and David Otunga, among many others. With his keen eye for business, he also created the WWE Network in 2014, the company's streaming service, which replaced the traditional pay-per-view model. Outside of wrestling, Vince has also ventured into other sports, such as the World Bodybuilding Federation, a bodybuilding organization he founded in the 1990s, and the XFL, an alternative professional American soccer league. Another major business in the world of sports that he created, apart from his involvement with wrestling of course, was Alpha Entertainment, a private company responsible for managing and relaunching the XFL in 2018. In addition to all these businesses, Vince is known to have invested in Tap Out, a fitness fashion startup that became a WWE partner, and in 2024, it was announced by PW Insider that he had teamed up with former co-workers to launch a new entertainment company focused on film and TV productions. And since we don't know how much they profit from each business, we'll consider this round a tie. Being two of the biggest names to have ever been in WWE, there's no doubt they've earned a lot of money in their careers. But who has accumulated the biggest fortune? John Cena, on the other hand, was once considered the most important figure in WWE, being responsible for starring in the most profitable fights, besides being one of the biggest sellers of licensed products using his image. And it's no wonder he's considered one of the highest paid wrestlers in the world. But John Cena's ambitions go far beyond wrestling. He seems to want to follow the same path as his ringmate The Rock, who has become one of Hollywood's biggest movie stars. And that's why Cena has started acting more and more, taking some good roles in increasingly relevant films. The amount he gets paid for each performance depends a lot on the importance of his role and the size of the production's budget. To get a sense of values, it's estimated that he received about $260,000 for The Marine and $2,500,000 for Trainwreck. And it's very likely that his biggest payday will be in Fast and Furious 9, a film that is part of one of the most successful franchises in movie history, in which John Cena has acted as the main villain, something that must have earned him a few $1,000,000. And most recently, Cena has been hard at work with his superhero character on the Peacemaker series airing on HBO Max. And if you consider all of the fighter's sources of income in a year, Forbes magazine estimated that in 2016 he made almost $10 million. And while no one knows for sure just how much wealth Big John Cena has amassed, many sources speculate that currently, at the peak of his 45 years of age, he has already amassed a net worth of over $80 million. Vince McMahon, for his part, isn't far behind. The bulk of his fortune was accumulated thanks to his position as CEO of WWE, where he received a salary of $5.6 million a year. But, as you might imagine, Vince was also the largest holder of the company's shares and occasionally sold them to raise more funds for his other ventures. To give you an idea, in 2017 he sold 3.34 million shares, which resulted in a gain of $100 million. 2 years later, when the WWE was valued, he sold another 3.2 million shares for a profit of $272 million. And even though he stepped down as president of the company, that doesn't mean he didn't continue to own a large part of it. Before merging the WWE with the UFC, Vince McMahon had a 38% shareholding. After joining the presidency team of TKO Group Holdings, the company resulting from the merger of the two companies, Vince still owns a good portion of the business. And although there is disagreement about the exact number of his stake in TKO, some sources estimate that at the time of the merger, the market value of the new business was $14.5 billion, meaning that the tycoon must own a good chunk of that amount. To give you an idea, in March 2024 alone, he sold a small part of his stake, estimated at 5.4 million shares, and made a profit of $400 million. And that's why some sources currently estimate Vince McMahon's net worth at $3.2 billion, placing him at the top of the ranking of the world's richest wrestling personalities. In other words, Vince wins this final round. At the end of this fight, we have 2 points for John Cena against 5 points for Vince McMahon, making him the champion. But if you believe there are still other arguments to defend one of the two, write your best justification below. Hey, you like the video? So don't forget about leave your like and comment, and tell some suggestions of another videos, and hopefully we gonna do it. All about channel, Dios to satisfy your curiosity.